Eh,
Wait, you got out of prison 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for what?
Possession of marijuana. Yeah.
That 2 months is what that gets you?
In federal prison, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That's cool kid prison.
Yeah, it really is. If you have a choice, you want to go with the federal prison system.
Is that I can't tell if you're goofing because Office Space made it seem like federal's not the good one.
Federal is the good one. It absolutely is.
Okay.
It definitely is because state prisons, from what I was told by prisoners, like federal prison has like their low really means low. Their camp really means it's more of a camp, and their max is really fucking max. But in state prison, depending on funding, like maybe throw them in the medium. You know, like the levels aren't as defined as well. Like their low might be pretty fucking rough.
They mix them maybe too much. Instead of getting.
I'm not an expert, but that's definitely my understanding of the scenario. That the state prison, even when I was in county jail, they were like, "Oh yeah, I knew a guy that got killed in a state prison." I'm like, "What? Why?" Stole potato chips.
This is a good tip for you guys listening out there. Commit federal crimes.
Federal crimes, boys.
Yeah.
Always federal crimes.
Go big or go home.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Well, you don't go home.
Do it right.
Go big or don't go home.
Go big and don't go home.
Possessions is still a state crime in Georgia as well. So how did you get tried for on a federal level for it?
Because we beat the state case because they wrote a bad warrant. They wrote a warrant that said they were able to search my home due to the fact that I was wearing shorts.
I haven't heard this little bit.
Were they tie-dye? Because they're kind of stoner.
Nah, they were
probable cause.
I had some cargo shorts on, and they said because I was wearing shorts, that meant that I was heading straight home with the half ounce of marijuana, and therefore they had the right to search my home. Whereas if I'd been wearing slacks, I guess, then I was going about my day into the world, and so that was going to get thrown out. So was all of the evidence that was actually acquired, but the feds, because of the types of firearms that I owned, were able to search my house regardless, just because I had been found to possess any marijuana whatsoever, like a seed of marijuana or a hundredth of a gram of marijuana would give them the ability to search my home. So the state lost their case, and so the feds picked it up.
What do they do with the guns? They just hold on to them, put them in a big vault somewhere?
Probably destroy them.
Oh, that's a shame.
What would you, 200K? Like, you get more than that in guns.
Yeah, closer to 400.
They took $400,000 worth of guns? Holy cow.
I had half an ounce of marijuana. I was a real danger to society. You have to understand.
I didn't trust him either. When they called me, I said, leave no stone unturned.
I said, did you know there's more guns in the basement?
Did you check the bunker out back? That's where the real shit is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Yeah,
how long did you get like schedule when you went?
No, they did that scheduling for me.
They didn't let you set your reservations.
Yeah, so I just called the concierge down at the federal lockup, and
Actually, I don't want to speak for Kyle, but my observation is that the stress and like unknown that stretched out for 2 years was maybe worse than the 2 months in prison. Like in terms of the punishment, you carry on. Yeah,
because I was looking at more like 25 years of prison, of like trumped up charges if I tried to go to court and fight the silly charges. So that's the reason I pled guilty, is because some of the charges I pled guilty to are not accurate. I pled guilty to intent to distribute as well, because they said that my girlfriend had smoked marijuana at my house one time, and that I had distributed marijuana to her in that manner, and so that was a crime. But I couldn't.
If you went away that long, it would have been funny for me and Woody to do the show next week and been like, it's only 1,200 weeks until Kyle returns to the show.
Like, the listeners know, but you guys might not. Like, one of the charges was owning a firearm with a destroyed serial number. Now, what happened was he bought a brand new firearm. He bought it from a gun store legally. Everything is on the up and up. He took that brand new firearm and shipped it to a professional firearm coding person to give it like, cool camo or another color or something like that. And then it turns out that person had gotten paint in the serial number. And now they're accusing Kyle of destroying or
defacing a serial number, which is a 10-year mandatory minimum federally.
So that's the
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know, the threat that he was looking at.
That, and they were looking at like an enhancement per gun up to like, I don't know if it's up to 5 guns or up to 10 guns, but they can add like, it's like 2 years per gun up to 10 guns, I think, which is like 20 years.
I
You know,
did
that they could tack on. Even the guns had nothing to do with marijuana. You know, those type of laws are meant to punish drug dealers who are carrying a pistol while they deal drugs. And it's like, oh, you can't steal my drugs, I'll shoot you, or you better pay for those drugs or I'll shoot you. That sort of thing. People who are in that kind of business, not for people who like have a shotgun in their closet way back at home and they smoke some marijuana at a concert, and that's how they're kind of applying the law. So they were threatening me with like roughly 25 or 30 years or something like that if I didn't plead guilty to some pretty nonsensical charges.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. And then of course
It is.
the cost
You
of going to court.
Ed and Rabbit as co-counsel. I feel like they, you know, I could do an afternoon. All right, I'll meet you in the middle.
Right smack dab in the middle.
I mean, that's
a warning.
I give a warning.
That's pretty much how it went. You know, like we started at 25 or 30 years, and then it was like, maybe 5. And then it was like, and as early as like 5 months ago, it was like 2 to 3, you know, and then it was like, shit. And then, you know, we finally negotiated down to this crime that's 0 to 6 months. And then it's up to the judge's discretion. And then he gave me 2. So yeah, been a fun little time. And then, you know, just got out, but yeah, got out 2 weeks ago. I'm enjoying freedom.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be
Hey, what's the
back.
coolest thing about being out? I my guess is controlling the light switches on your own, but
Sure. That's awfully nice. You
You
know,
know what time it is?
we got a clock, you know, and
Okay.
it moves very slow.
How about that?
Especially when you're watching